When Life Gives You Tangerines quickly became one of the most watched and beloved K-dramas of the past few years, but now several disturbing behind-the-scenes details are emerging which are changing netizens' perception of this drama. The controversy exploded on May 26th when a representative from a prop company that worked on When Life Gives You Tangerines called out the production team of the show. In their statement, they said that their company's staff was stationed on the set, but was basically called only to keep an eye on what was going on, as the production team had zero skills in operating the retro buses and other large props that were used on the show. They continued by saying that the production team's incompetence resulted in many props that were made or rented specifically for the drama ending up being damaged. The prop company representative then brought up an example of how irresponsible the production team was on the set. They claimed that they caught the production team using lacquer from ironworks stores to stencil a rented bus. The prop company staff tried to explain that this wouldn't work, adding that since most of the properties used on the show were rented, anything that could cause permanent change or damage to the props wasn't allowed. However, the production team insisted on doing things their own way and cursed out the prop company staff. After ignoring all the warnings, the production team ended up damaging the rented bus. These revelations quickly went viral online, and soon various extras who worked on the show came out with their own accounts, claiming that they were mistreated by the production team. One of them shared some particularly worrying details, claiming that at one point the producers forced all the extras to shave their heads without notifying them that they needed to do this and without asking for their consent. Apparently, the production team justified this decision by saying that it was a matter of convenience, as the staff considered wigs to be too bothersome. The same extra then explained that despite the fact that When Life Gives You Tangerines was a high-budget Netflix production, nothing was provided to those working on the show, and even basic amenities were missing. They explained that people were basically forced to starve and no food at all was provided, not even a food truck or a tea table. They also added that they were only thrown into a random restaurant after starving for several hours and were told to eat as quickly as possible and return to the set within 30 minutes. Also, elderly extras were apparently often neglected and forced to remain exposed to the cold weather for a long time. They also claimed that the production team didn't provide any warm clothing during the winter shoots, despite promising to do so, and even told the extras that they couldn't wear inner thermal layers because it would supposedly disrupt the visual silhouette of their costumes. The extra claimed that this doesn't make sense, as no one would even notice that the people in the background had some more layers. Being forced to stay out in the cold had negative effects on the health of various people who worked on the drama, and in one case, a cast member had to be escorted to a heater to avoid health risks. The netizen who revealed all these details also said that the extras were basically treated like slaves, and the production team only prioritized the main cast members, spending all the money on them and trying to save as much as possible at the expense of everyone else's safety and health. Another account by a person who allegedly worked on the show revealed more details about what was happening on the set. One netizen claimed that there was a staff shortage and they had to help with driving despite not being hired for that role. The same person also claimed that they weren't paid at all and were often verbally mistreated. They then questioned how the production team could be short on money when they had a budget of over $43 million, and they did everything to save money, including lowering rental costs, paying low wages, and not paying those who worked overtime. The same netizen also stated that at one point they had to shoot in 3 different cities on 3 consecutive days and moved using different buses, but they weren't provided with a place to stay during the night, so they had to pay for their own accommodation. They also alleged that there was almost no food on the set and they were only given a burger and a soda for dinner. Also, there was apparently no waiting area, so extras and staff members had to eat outside, spending hours in freezing temperatures. In light of all these disturbing accusations, netizens revisited some behind-the-scenes details that were revealed after the end of the series. In fact, the first signs that something was wrong happened on the set a few weeks after the drama aired its final episode. On April 19th, a person who allegedly worked on the set of the show as a space designer revealed an interesting behind-the-scenes story. The staff member said that during a particularly hectic shoot, they accidentally left their iPad next to the male lead, Park Bo-gum, and the entire scene was filmed with the out-of-place tablet clearly visible. Despite this, the director still approved the scene, but Bo-gum then noticed that something was wrong. Instead of pointing fingers at the staff members, Bo Gum told the director that his acting was a bit off and that he wanted to film the scene again. Then he removed the iPad and gave it back to the staff member, telling them, "It didn't get caught, don't worry." When this story was revealed, most netizens praised Bo Gum's kindness, but some instead questioned whether he was trying to protect the staff from potential negative repercussions. Many netizens quickly forgot this story, but now it has resurfaced, and what at first seemed like a genuine act of kindness has taken a completely different twist. Because of the latest revelations, many netizens now take this incident as a sign that the producers were also mistreating the staff members, to the point that they were terrified of the consequences of making a small mistake. Another series of statements that paint a worrying picture of the producers' practices came from actress Nam Kwan-ah, who had a minor role as a housekeeper in When Life Gives You Tangerines. Her quirky character quickly became a fan favorite among viewers, and with her fame now on the rise, she was asked about her experience filming the drama and how she ended up getting the role. Kwan-ah revealed that the initial message inviting her to audition for the show came unusually late, at around 10 or 11 p.m. At first, this made her feel uneasy, to the point that she started to wonder whether the message was legit. Nevertheless, she decided to trust the message, as she didn't want to miss a life-changing opportunity of starring alongside popular celebrities such as Bo Gum and IU. However, things got worse when she arrived at the audition location. Kwan-ah explained that there were no cameras at all and the director was completely alone. In the end, Kwan-ah described her weird audition as a fun experience, but now netizens are taking this as yet another example of the production team being unprofessional and incompetent. With all these revelations and more accusations of negligence and mistreatment being directed at the production team of When Life Gives You Tangerines, netizens are now outraged and many are asking for accountability. The team behind the show hasn't responded at all to the allegations, but after days of silence, Netflix finally addressed the issue. On May 28th, a Netflix representative told reporters that they're investigating all the accusations and are working closely with the team of When Life Gives You Tangerines to understand what really happened on the set and whether the accusations are true. They have also added that they're working on improving working conditions to prevent similar incidents from happening again. Unfortunately, these kinds of problems aren't a new issue for K-dramas, and for years, staff members and extras have complained about poor working conditions and the huge pay gaps between those who work on the show and the leading stars. Netflix, in particular, has been blamed for making things worse, and when in 2023 it was revealed that the streaming platform was barely paying a few $100s to supporting actors, there was an uproar among netizens. However, it seems like Netflix has done nothing to solve these issues, and judging by the latest reports on When Life Gives You Tangerines, it looks like things have only gotten worse. Another issue that has been going on for a while is how production companies try to save money on the staff in order to increase the salaries of the main actors. For years, there have been reports of companies hiring fewer staff members to save money and giving them temporary contracts with low salaries and bad working conditions, and this seems to be exactly what happened in When Life Gives You Tangerines. Now that netizens are discovering the cruel reality behind this drama, many are starting to look at When Life Gives You Tangerines under a different light, and all the controversies that now surround the show might hurt its popularity.